Hey, folks, we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about cybersecurity because, well, it looks like the bad guys have figured out how to hack into the surveillance state and are using it to, well, commit murder. But Terry, you wrote this story for us in Security Boulevard, and is this kind of like some weird way of where the infrastructure that we created is now being hacked into by the bad guys for illicit purposes?
Well, yes, and not surprisingly, right? We've talked about this before, how the bad guys take the good stuff and use it as for their own nefarious actions. So what basically has
Literally
happened?
committing murder, by the way.
Literally, this time,
I
literally
don't want
committing
anyone
murder. We're not being
the way,
figurative.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The way Mike, the way you said that, it was like committing murder. Like the kind of metaphor my mother
yeah,
used to use. No, we're talking about literal
yeah.
murder. Sorry, Jerry.
No,
Yeah,
no. That's okay. This is you're right. It's literally murder. So what happened here is this all stems actually from an IG report for the FBI that came out uh, last month. That they're actually trying to audit the FBI's efforts to mitigate the effects of technical surveillance, which is just ubiquitous now, right? It's everywhere, not just in Singapore, which I think we've discussed Singapore, how creepy it seems sometimes that these cameras are all over the place, but they're everywhere. And one of the stories that they recounted in this audit was about in Mexico City. There was a hacker affiliated with El Chapo's cartel, or one of his cartels. And this person or group or whatever actually surveilled the FBI building there, or the embassy in Mexico City. And they identified like an attaché and other people. And then they focused in on this one person, and they were able to access his or her phone records, location data, contacts, all of that. And then they used the web of cameras in the city to trace informants, like track them, and then in some cases kill them. Other cases, I think they probably just put pressure on them or whatever. But yeah, so literal murder. And it was like sort of this interesting combination of tech and then that old school kind of, you used to see in the Rockford Files or something, where somebody, is casing a building uh, and watching people, like literally a person out there observing people. Now, they're not 100% sure that this hacker was a person sitting out in front of this building watching people go in. There could have been all sorts of technology involved in that. But
so, first of all, I thought they fired all the inspector generals.
Well, so that's like, when I was first looking into this, I had a little moment of satisfaction. Those IGs are really super valuable to government. And the fact that we got rid of...
If you don't fire them, they are.
If you don't fire them, the fact that we got rid of so many of them earlier this year makes me even more concerned now.
I mean, with this report, you could probably count his employment on two hands. But there's another thing here. Look, the real issue here is in a surveillance state, the room for abuse, whether it's by the government itself or people who are hacking into leaky government surveillance infrastructure, is great, too great. And sometimes you got to weigh what is the advantage to the downside of these things and make a determination. If we're going to have this type of surveillance capability, number one, we've got to make sure that it legally, by government sources, has to be extremely supervised and qualified. Number two,
of good luck with that, though. I don't think we're heading in that direction.
And that's why we don't have IGs the way we used to. But number two, it's ludicrous to think that we would do such a shoddy job of setting it up that would allow the quote-unquote bad guys, and who's a bad guy today, it's hard to tell when they're all wearing masks, but it would allow the bad guys to harness the same infrastructure that we've set up for this. So it's kind of a double whammy, which leads me to believe we shouldn't be doing this stuff, right? Until we have guardrails in place.
I think it points to how security, at least previously, and hopefully this is getting better, although I can't say for sure, was always like an afterthought when people were setting up or groups were setting up, things like this, right? They didn't really think too hard about security. Well, I mean, that's my own opinion, that I don't think they considered all the options. I also think that the bad guys have gotten so far ahead of, the good guys in terms of how they use technology and everything, that it is a hard to win battle when
Depends
you're
who
on
you
the.
think of as the bad guys and the good guys. Like I said,
And then
they all
there's
wear masks.
There's the ambiguity there is, who are the bad guys? Who are the good guys?
It gives me great comfort that the United States government awards these contracts to the lowest cost suppliers with the least amount of cybersecurity expertise. So I think it's going to be great.
I know. Well, merit, we're on merit now here. So always good to see. But yeah, so that all that's of a concern. I will say right here, one of the things that they do think that maybe there were some insiders within the agency that possibly
shocking. There's gambling going on here.
That's what struck me, Teri, was just as we harp on, AI needs human intervention. Cyber needs human intervention, but it also needs to address the human factor. And it seemed to me that hacking into a video surveillance system is one thing. A lot of these are pretty old. And, the cloak and dagger of somebody going over to a line and tapping it like you saw in Ocean's 11, which is pretty much mostly fake, but could actually occur in the case of video surveillance. You could see all that. But it seems critical that they use the same old usual, pay somebody off method too.
Could be. It's a twisted world.
So the IG report also did give some, they did offer a few recommendations, although honestly, they're fairly basic. So I'm not sure how much help they'll be. But it was good to see the IG active and getting out there on what is an important topic.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I think that wraps up our Textron Gang for Thursday. We hope you enjoyed it. As usual, we have Textron TV following this on our network. You can also check this out on our Textron.tv YouTube channel, our Textron.tv webpage, as well as our Textron TV OTT app, which is available on Apple and Google Play and Apple TV and Roku TV and Amazon Fire. So no matter what you watch on, we've got a Textron TV for you. Gang members, thank you so much for a lively, great conversation. Mike, thanks for leading it. We'll be back tomorrow with more, but until then, this is Alan Schimmel. We're out.